Welcome to Washington Week. Welcome to Big Ten Play. Welcome to the live show at Roosters, powered by Tansky Powersports. Sorry. I was just there for the summer send-off over the weekend. You'd think I'd get it right.
Yes.
Welcome back in. Ohio State back to work, and we are back into Roosters for a fun, casual conversation. That's Justin Zwick, Nicole Cox, Bobby Carpenter. I am Austin Ward. It just feels different when you have a game at the end of the week. I didn't like it last week.
Oh.
I had a good time. I had a good time, but the juice wasn't the same.
Nicole, how was your weekend? I mean, what did you do?
It was
Did
good.
you fill your Saturday with anxiety?
No. We
not.
had
It was a bye week for
Don't
that.
worry, guys. We had things to do. Always things.
Oh,
so
I know. I'm excited about
bunch of homecoming activities, I believe.
Is that this week or was that last?
This coming weekend,
Yeah,
and then it was last weekend too.
Wait.
Because
You get to go to
both
multiple
Dublin.
here, and you get all those high
He's got to go to
schools.
both Dublin schools.
So which school does
He's
he
at Kaufman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because Jerome's is this weekend.
Yeah, and
Oh,
he's
good
going
for
to
him.
that
That sounds
with
great.
Lenny. So yeah.
Double Hokos.
Yep, it should be fun.
Is that
Oh,
what
he's going with
Is that what
Leonard?
they call it now?
No,
What
in
grade
the
is he in?
same group.
Same group.
Freshman.
So they let freshmen go? I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like back in my day, like you had to be
No,
like a
that's
junior or
prom.
senior to
That's
go
prom.
to
No, it's
homecoming.
prom.
or-
Everybody
That's
goes to
prom.
homecoming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody.
But yeah, they had ours last week. Mine, daughter went, she's a freshman.
How
so
was
Yeah.
it,
it's good. We hosted the after party, so that was a full adventure.
Bobby?
Oh gosh.
If
I
that's
give
the
you
one
so much
person that
credit.
you want to put in charge.
You know what we did?
is
We
the
got
general.
Roosters.
Oh, thanks.
Smart.
for
I was going to
doing
ask.
that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, I mean, these kids, like, you get all this food because there was, 30 or 40 kids that were coming through.
Yeah.
And as always, like, they don't eat hardly any of it.
Yep.
So
That's
now,
what happened at the after.
It's
That's
like,
great.
well, here you go. We've got like 150 wings.
Yes.
And they ate like 7 of them.
Bobby,
Not that much.
I love
They have
that you guys
chips out there?
hosted.
That's the
great.
best.
Ooh.
Well, we didn't do
Yeah, you got any chips left over? I'm coming by. It's all court to set them on the front porch.
We didn't do full catering. We just did some carry out because we didn't
Oh.
need that much.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't do it with that many people. So, I was like, all
Well,
right.
never mind. Justin's not in charge
Yeah,
anymore
well,
now.
never mind. Yeah.
I was like, we need more food. And then they didn't need even what we bought. So,
Yeah.
I know Jay-Z
Terrible.
had a great weekend. He
It's
played
good.
golf 3 days in a row.
I
Give
did
it-
play golf 3 days in a row.
the parents love it. So, like, hey, here you go. It's kind of like at the end of you guys bring the truck to like the events
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And it's like, hey, here's the truck. Get some Roosters to go. Like, kind of
Yeah.
that's here. Take this box of wings. Eat them.
That's exactly what
And
we
the parents
did too.
love them. Yeah, the parents love them. So it's great.
A benefit.
And
coming
And the
No
kids will
food.
eat them when there's no one around. They just don't eat.
They don't want to
there.
be caught eating.
Yeah, let me ask you this.
That's
Nicole,
interesting.
do
Didn't that
they-
used to be caught drinking?
Yeah. By the way, that was the other thing. Just had to like take laps, make sure we're all good. And
That's.
there was
I
no-
mean, my anxiety level
hand
right
checks and
now,
everything?
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's like we didn't provide any cups, so I was like, if there's cups out, then that's
Something's going
we'll
on here.
figure that out.
I
The
mean,
things to
it's-
worry about as a parent.
It's like,
I said if it was me, I would have
yeah,
been
it's
like,
like he's a criminal profiler. Like,
100%.
He knows
I know
all the tricks.
here.
That was like Clarice going to talk the lector in the deal. Like I'm like, hey, if that was me, what I would have done is kept a small cooler on like around a tree or something
in the
outside
backyard,
and just shotgunned beers super fast without anybody knowing.
and then just leave the cans there.
That's what someone's like. Well, you can smell their breath. I'm like, I'm not like creep, dude. These are 15-year-old boys.
Got
that
this
go-
breathalyzer
let me-
off Amazon. Go ahead and blow in here
I
for
do.
me.
Well, Courtney did get me a breathalyzer about 12 years, maybe 14 years ago for my birthday. Because I used to always tell her, I was like, I'm good. She's like, you can't be good. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm good. And then so
prove
we
it.
we got the breathalyzer,
I
and I
like
did.
it.
She goes, that's not even fair. I was like, no, you blowing it. I'm like, I weigh 120 pounds more than you. 130 pounds more than you. Like, I have a super fast
Did
metabolism.
not expect you to say, "Well, I got one of those about 12 years ago for my birthday."
Yeah, I was like, I mean, well, she always challenged me. She's like, you're not going to drive. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm fine. I could tell you if I didn't feel like I was good. And so then we did that, and it was like, poof, David Copperfield, here you go.
Yeah, let's go.
She's like, you just had like 10 beers in like an hour and a half. Maybe not that, but it was like something. It would be like you had 6
I'm not
beers.
saying it's impossible.
Well, but you'd have like 6 beers over 2 hours. I'm like, there's a beer every 20 minutes. Like, they're evaporating
run a
faster
marathon.
than that. Yeah, I was like, I'll do whatever. And so
It's flavored
she
water.
bought me that, and so I could prove to her. I was like, Court, I'm like 0.07. It's not even close.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I got plenty of room to spare here. Backpedaling.
Matter of
to the end
fact,
zone.
I'm going to have one more before we take off.
You know what? Since I scored so well.
Yeah, I scored so well.
It says I got a little room to grow right
Yeah,
now.
So if you
exactly.
if you want, I'll let you
goodness.
let you borrow that, for
Yep.
your future parties.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. No, I'm never hosting. No.
Oh, never say never.
No.
Cool Mark will let you host. Cool Mark.
No.
I would feel like that you would want to be in control.
'Cause then you're in
and you
control.
love to plan all year round.
Yeah, but then she's just going to worry the entire time.
Is that going to be
Well,
different if it's somewhere
fair,
else?
That's
fair,
so true.
fair enough.
That's so true.
If you'd rather worry and be
Good
able to
point.
take a lap than worry about them being somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
So we had like other parents came over with friends. We
Yeah.
hung out in my office.
That's
watched
what we
some,
did. At
watched some
somebody
football
else's house.
games,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like we had some drinks, relax, like, all right, 20 minutes. You want to go take a lap and just kind of see what's
Yeah.
going on? Like, not hanging out, partying with the kids, but just seeing what's going on through
Making
here.
sure everybody's
Yeah,
good
I
to
could hover, but like every 15 to 20 minutes,
Yeah.
just make sure
Do a little dance through the crowd. Hey, cool kids, what's going on?
How you doing, fellow kids?
Yeah,
yelled
fellow
out-
kid.
Been yelled at by my daughter when the Sonos would like be spotty. I'm like, oh, my bad. You think I'm trying to do this?
How dare
I
you.
yelled at your mom at the Halloween party about this last year. So what do you want me to do?
All right. Well, we are off and running.
So that's what we did without no game.
That's
well,
it.
Or
yeah,
without a game
I
to
wish-
watch.
I
yeah.
went down to the Apple Fest down in
Ah.
Jackson, Ohio.
That's cool.
Yeah, RJ and I went down there. They had the whole Ohio State marching band.
Nice.
They came down. It was really sweet. It was awesome time. It was a
They don't take Saturdays off.
parade at night. They actually moved it up to be on the bye week. They had Vivek down there. He was in front of the band, and then it was Jerry Lucas, myself, and then Lawrence Funderburk, and we were sitting there, and RJ rode with me. It was a lot of fun. I got a chance to meet Jerry Lucas, who's 85. Still,
Oh my gosh.
dude, he is like as smart as anybody.
Yeah,
you're gonna
sharp as a
find.
tack, huh?
Yeah, I mean, crazy smart. He's just built this new, like, biblical software about how to like memorize and learn more Bible passages. Like, it's going to be revolutionary. I'm like, you're 85. Like, my dad doesn't even
That's-
accept text, and you're down here.
That's so
living-
cool.
And even then, sometimes, can you help me
Yeah.
with this? Like, I'm
Living-
trying to send this.
He lives in Gallipolis, Ohio. Like, that's because that's where people retire. And he's down there just doing God's work. Literally, he's an awesome guy and one of the best basketball players like of all time.
Yeah.
Just an all timer. And the
Well-
guy came up to me and was like, "Mr. Lucas, can I get a picture?" And then my son pointed to the side because my name was on the side of the car. And I was like, he's actually up there. And the guy who was driving, I know. I'm like, do I look that old? I'm like, 'cause I don't think this guy. I'm like, he's 85. It's not like he's 55. He's also 6'8".
There's a little bit of difference there between you two and the sports that you played as well. I promise we're going to get back to Ohio State football first.
He may have
Sorry,
went to
guys.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Funderburk before both of us. So
It's-
I have no idea.
Probably did.
It's Monday. We're easing into things.
We are. But if you want to ramp up the interview,
Oh.
Yep.
Wait,
Ramp it up.
well, you can wait for
We'll
that.
get there.
Because the next adventure, if you're looking for it, you got to head to Tansky Powersports. They are the one-stop shop for ATVs, dirt bikes, golf carts. Awesome golf carts. I was in
checked
Birmingham
it out,
last
yeah.
week
Some good
for the
stuff.
summer send-off. I mean, I don't know where I would put it, but I've got to have one.
Berm,
They're
did you
amazing.
see the Bengals golf cart?
no.
No.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, don't ask
I'll
him.
take a picture.
Don't ask him about the Bengals.
Oh,
right now,
I
Nicole.
watched that game. That was I felt bad.
I
That was
felt
that was
bad.
tough. That
Yeah,
was
it was
tough.
a hard
That was a tough one.
Well, whether you're looking for speed, power, or versatility, Tansky Powersports has something for everyone. With the best brands and expert service, visit Tansky Powersports today at 2491 West Dublin Granville Road, or browse their huge selection on the line, Bob, at TanskyPowersports.com. Tansky Powersports, where the adventure begins. The
Yes.
Big Ten adventure begins in Seattle at 3:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific on Saturday. Very much looking forward to go out there. I have not. Husky Stadium for a game is a new one for me, so add that to the passport, the list of places that I've got to cover a game.
Do you have like a media passport that they stamp it? When you
Yeah,
go to
but
those
I'm
stadiums?
not allowed to talk about it. It's a secret handshake society. So
Oh,
one of those
nice.
deals.
yeah, I'd show it to you, but I'm not allowed to. But very much looking forward to it. All I've heard, Bob,
The
JP,
stadium
you've
is
talked
awesome.
about it. The noise out there, the sailgating, all that stuff. I think that's maybe the most interesting part
Did you
about this
play out there?
matchup.
No, but
That was the
just
year
that was the
after.
year
Missed it
after
by a year.
07 they went, but yeah.
Yeah, it's got a great reputation. Looking forward to it. Washington's going into it with a 3-0 record. We're going to break down that matchup even more, but I know Nicole.
Are you excited for the adventure of what the setup could be like?
I don't want to think about it right now.
The
Bob.
Oregonian,
Well,
Oregonian wasn't quite to the
So they gave us a warning in advance.
Oh boy,
That's-
We're gonna
that's
see-
not good.
preemptive
Said-
one.
So some of the seating or parking are restricted. It's not the largest press
I saw
situation.
the email from Jerry. It might just be easier to
Take the train.
train.
So we're gonna see how it goes.
Oh, boy.
We're
so you're,
not
so
that
you're
far
gonna
away.
wing it?
Well,
No pun intended.
Yeah.
I have plans in place, but we have a lot of equipment, and taking the train to go into the game, I'm sure it's going to be fine. I might pass the train. I might take an Uber instead. I want to have more control over the situation.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. I have high hopes, and I don't want to lean too far into my press box snob reputation. So I'm just excited for it. I'm not worried about it, Bob. I don't know why you said anything about that. Let's just talk about the
Last
game.
time you went west, it wasn't a
Stop.
good situation.
Stop it. It's all going to be just
It's
fine.
gonna be
Yes,
great.
that'd be great.
The game
It will.
should be great too, Nicole. What are you most looking forward to? What does Ohio State need to do on Saturday coming out of this off date?
Well, you know how I'm always interested to see how we do after having a whole week off.
Yeah.
And I try to always overanalyze how that works. Because you think about they've been practicing. So I'm anxious to see just how they do on an away game, let alone
First time for a lot of these
all
players.
the way
Yeah.
at the West Coast, like the furthest possible. It's probably the furthest school, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of, I think, when do they fly in?
They're flying out Thursday.
They have
They're gonna
adjusted the schedule from last year.
Yeah, the last year they went out just the day before and tried to stay on East Coast time because they played a night game. This one's 3:30 Eastern, 12:30, which is our window right there.
Yeah.
They're used to
That
this.
is, yep.
And so they're going to practice a little earlier on Thursday, then fly out Thursday evening.
I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
So
Stanton
that is
Eastern
different than
time.
what they did for Oregon last year.
Yeah, and I like that we're at 3:30. I think night game, I just think that's a lot of time to sit around and think.
Well, there it's 12:30, so
Yeah.
they're going to be
Yeah, up and at 'em.
up and
Yep,
ready,
it's going to be
hot and ready.
So Julian, just like kind of watching him and seeing just with the crowd being in, an opponent stadium,
Mhm.
just how he handles that. I have no doubt. I personally think he'll be great just because of how, again, with the cool, calm, and collected that he was the
Yeah.
first game.
Oh, for sure.
Just the confidence and just, I don't know. I'm just anxious to see.
Yeah, we've seen him play a much more talented defense than what Washington has, and that was his first start ever against Texas. But Justin, throughout camp, throughout spring, all of that conversation was about command of the huddle, using his voice. Ryan Hartline and Ryan Day were both talking last week about turning up the noise for the first time and maybe silent cadences and silent
Yeah,
snaps.
that's a lot. Especially for a young team. We got our first 3 at home. Of course, we started off with a big one, but it's still at home, and you can see those plays. When people come into the shoe and they're getting the penalties, or the offensive line's jumping because it gets so loud, and they're trying to get that extra little jump every offensive lineman does, and then they think they hear something and they go. So, we've seen that happen here in the shoe. Washington is hoping that their fans, I'm sure their coaches
It's a
talking
loud
them up,
stadium.
get here, be loud, we need to affect this young Ohio State team and the young signal caller. So I think all week long, we did it back in our day, music blaring, speakers right on the radio, so you can't really hear anything. You really get used to in working with those hand signals and just looks and just different things that you can give a guy to hopefully be on the same page.
How close can those speakers get to actually simulating what it's like?
I think it's pretty loud out there
Yeah.
because they're right on the sideline, and they're the big dogs and they're blaring just, crowd noise with music mixed in and just a whole bunch of different stuff. Now, is it going to be a whiteout loud? I've never been there. I've heard it's very loud. They do a nice job. But, I remember some of those whiteouts, like it didn't really matter what you did in practice because it's a whole different ball game when you get on the field. I was telling you before, like you be in a huddle looking at somebody reading lips because you can't hear them because the crowd and students are right on top of you. And, that does affect things. I don't know if it gets that loud there. It very well may. But also I think if we're able to have some success early, that's, the best way to stop the crowd is by going down, scoring some points and making that, that stadium feel like, here we go.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of zaps things. So I think we can start, fast and, not have those silly mistakes of, just jumping. And I think it's different nowadays because we're in the gun a lot, right? So that changes things. Now you're still going to have your offensive lineman wanting to get a good jump and whatnot, but you're looking in at the ball instead of waiting on a cadence and thinking you're hearing something different. So, that may help a little bit in that instance, but I'm excited. The young team going on the road, it's going to be different for them. Everything is changing, flying out Thursday, just a lot of different things to deal with, but coming off of bye week, I'm sure they've talked and done, just everything that they're going to see, coming on Saturday, and they've been dealing with for 2 weeks now. So, hopefully they're ready to rock.
Yeah, finding the voice. That's that thing that we talked about. Like, you got to be loud.
It's like Nemo.
Yeah, exactly like
It's tough.
me.
Sometimes it'll be loud.
It's going to be
Like,
loud. And
If you get a couple big plays early, convert a couple third downs, like get a touchdown.
the wind
get a
comes out of the
stop.
sail pretty easy.
Yes.
I think in a game like this where maybe Washington, they're excited because we got this offense that's scoring all kinds of points, and
They're good.
they got to come to us, and blah blah blah. But if we get the ball first and we go right down the field and score on them, they're still going to be in it for a little bit, but that's going to be like, ooh, okay, well this team is really good. We thought they would be. They look like they're going to run us, and that may help take some of that out of the crowd a little.
It'll be it, but it's a cool environment, good-looking stadium. It gets loud. Their offense is good. Defensively, I don't think they're great.
They gave up 21 to Colorado State in week 1.
Yeah.
They gave up 24 on Saturday to Washington State. So we don't know that much. The sample size is small.
Yeah.
Neither of those teams are. They're FBS opponents, but Colorado State's in the Mountain West, and Washington State doesn't seem to exist to any realm of college football.
It's the Apple Cup.
It's the Apple Cup.
It's a big game.
But they have fallen off their talent level dramatically, yet they threw for 277 yards against Washington. So if you want to look at that, is the talent level close to Texas? No. Is it better than Ohio and Grambling? Yeah, but how much better? I don't know.
Well, I think offensively it is.
Yeah,
I don't think defensively they're great, but offensively they've got some good receivers, a good back, and their quarterback is a little Kyler Murray-esque.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody watched that Washington State game, he can move.
He can move.
He can spin it pretty well, and he can move.
He's going to keep plays alive. He's
Yes.
he's going to do everything he can.
So there'll be a challenge there, but it should be a fun one. I'm excited to be able to watch an Ohio State game from home. I've gone to all the games this year. This week, I'm like, all right, we don't have any homecoming, Apple Fest, anything. I'm just going to sit around and watch a lot of games,
You mentioned the Kyler Murray comparison. Matt Patricia, made that, publicly on Tuesday of last week, and they were really, I don't know if you sensed this or not, Bob, they had the week of practice, and it wasn't, we weren't hearing improvement week hammered home as much as I feel like we have in the past. There was conversation that was like geared specifically towards Washington, and I think it is more their offense and their defense and more Damon Williams than anything else, but felt like they were treating that as an extra week of preparation.
You ever about going to just as Damon versus Damon?
I'll ask him on Saturday when I get there.
I want you to ask him.
Okay, if I get a chance before
What's
pregame.
the Damon Damon, the real Pam thing going on here?
Yeah,
The N is
what's
silent.
easier to say?
Um,
But it felt like they were diving into the next opponent more so than they might
I think
generally.
they did. I think they did get after a little bit, but there was they got after in practice. Like there was a lot of scouting going on with Washington, and you do some self-scout always. You're reflective, but it's tough because it's so early. Like you have 3 games, so okay. Like let's see. Plus, like
When your 3 games were a little bit different as far as
Yes.
how you were calling them because you started with
Yeah.
Texas, right?
What are you getting out of the Grambling game for self-scouting? Like we could throw it deep whenever we wanted. Sure,
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith is good at football.
Texas, you're like, well, we had a young quarterback when we were up.
We kind of
like, we're
protected him a
controlling
little
it.
bit.
So like, there's not a ton there. There were some nuggets I think they were able to pull out, but really it's like, okay, let's start looking at for the players. Like coaches look at that. Players, their tendencies like they're not calling the stuff. So defensively and offensively, they're starting to get ahead, get a feel for kind of what they're doing, and then obviously one of the best things that you have at Ohio State is going good on good, competing against your own guys. And I know Ryan. I mean, they ratcheted it up. Like it was not a joke.
A rest week?
Being there with James, and James made the joke on Thursday, or Wednesday. I was like, hey, you have the cars running tomorrow during practice? And he starts shaking his head because that's what Antonio would say. And then Fick and James, like, Coach Bobby and I both used to tell us, don't leave your car running during practice.
Yeah.
He goes, you know what that means? And looks over Riley. He's like, so it doesn't run out of gas? He goes, no. So you're here when you're at practice.
Yeah. You're present here.
You're
Yeah.
not just focused on getting back in. And like, it's just a stopover before you get and go do your next thing. So like, we're going to get here. We're going to get better. And they had a tough practice on Thursday.
Yeah. They did not waste those opportunities. Did have Friday and Saturday and Sunday off, or had to be back on Sunday night.
Sunday night.
And but they had a chance. Some of those guys I know got home real quick to see the family, get some home cooked meal. If you're looking for something outside,
Some Roosters cheese.
there's a fun casual
sticks.
joint that on Tuesday
Oh, God.
they have this event. We call it Appetizer Thursday, and Justin Zwick is already taste testing the mozzarella sticks before
These
the show
things.
started.
And I'll tell you, the best thing about these is if you don't get through them all in the store, you take them home.
Air fry them.
And what do you
put
do
them in
with
the air fryer?
Oh.
About 6 to 7 minutes, you pull them out. Oh, the cheese it's
They're so
melty and delicious.
Just
all
as
over
good.
again. Just
Just
as
as
good.
Just as good.
No doubt about it.
$3
Three.
at your
All day
participating
long.
Tuesdays.
Roosters location on Tuesday. And while you're here, Bob,
Oh, yeah.
what can they do?
Well, you could be one of the 50 million people that is registered
50.
for the Roosters.
It's
The
not
giveaway.
that many.
The turnout
Roosters
is
giveaway.
through the roof.
It's
in
not that
2025.
many.
You can register every day.
Register every
When
day
is our next selection of winners coming
on
down?
October 6th.
Got 2 weeks.
so
2
2
weeks.
2 weeks. So
But
make
register
sure.
every
Sign
day.
up.
Yeah.
Every day.
Thank you to everybody who's
QR
been
code.
registering. There aren't millions, so you definitely have a
Millions.
chance to win.
Mills.
And millions.
Millions.
Yeah.
Some
So-
great prizes, some great opportunities,
Yes.
some postseason games
Yes.
in the mix in there as well. So, somebody going to what was the first one? First
What?
big. Was there a road trip during the season?
No, there's just
Home
we're
games.
doing a playoff game.
Got it.
First round playoff game.
All right.
Can't really say playoff, but you know what I mean.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Trademark.
First round
yes.
tournament game.
So we'll get
An
3 of
elimination
those.
game.
Yeah.
Elimination game.
That's
Oh.
after the regular season,
Yes.
but
Yes.
before the national championship game.
Mhm.
You figure it out. A
Yes.
bracket game, perhaps.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Find a lot of different. The Buckeye,
I like that. I
Buckeye
like that.
bracket giveaway.
I like
Ooh,
the
the
bracket
bracket
game.
game.
I like that. Maybe I'll start using that.
Okay. Now they have to win to get there. They're going to win 8 more games, 9 more games before they can earn that opportunity to get into a postseason. Is that going to happen on Saturday, Nicole? We got it's 8.5, 9.5 point spread. Ohio State's favored by on the road. What do you think?
I chose 27-21.
Ooh, a Washington cover.
How about that?
So-
Okay.
One score.
I don't think that
game.
happens very often on the
No.
show.
Mhm.
Just got that feeling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like
I'm not trying to talk you out of it.
Yeah, now-
their offense is good. Our
They are
defense
good.
is great.
Yeah.
But that's their strength. So I feel like they could put some more points on the board.
Okay.
They'll make some plays. This isn't going
Mhm.
to be just 3 and out
Yeah.
fest.
Yes.
You know.
They're very talented, and I'm looking forward to that part of it as well. Because we're going to get into that more with Ohio State's defensive line, what they have to handle with Washington and that skill talent, and Damon Williams and everything else heading into Saturday. But that will be in the second half of the show. We're just going to let Nicole go. What else is going on?
Guys. Just football. I mean, NFL was crazy yesterday, guys.
was.
Some of those games, they were just nuts.
Let's go Brownies.
Some there were
Yeah.
7
I
that were
know.
decided. 7 were decided in the last 2 minutes.
Yes.
Like, that was
it was.
a
Yeah.
lot of
and
blocks.
then-
Towards the end of the
Again?
Browns, it was like block field goal. Then we went down, and then the next game they put on block field goal at the end of the game for a touchdown. And then another field goal.
Yeah.
Like it was nuts.
Wow.
And again, my heart goes out to all those kickers where it was okay, you're going to kick. It's for the game. No big deal. And they went out there and they did it. I was so proud of them.
I have to keep
So-
reminding Bob of that. Like, specialists are people, too. I mean, he
They
just.
are. I mean,
They are. That's a big, I mean,
listen,
Yes,
I
yes, they
always
are.
was friends
Shame
with
on
kickers.
you.
they
They are
made that
humans.
game for
I don't
them.
constitute like they're playing like as far as playing 20 years. Like that's impressive. And I tell Nuge jokes around about it. He's like, dude, I just stood over there during practice. I'm not hitting anybody. So he's like, it's a
Better
skill
not
to be
be.
able to do that, but the physical beating of like 17 years of that versus like what Calais Campbell's doing and playing 17 years on the D line is just insanity.
It is, but it's still an important
It
role.
is. I'm not. It's very
Especially in
important.
those moments.
It'll win
I
you a
mean,
game.
the mental state you
Ask
have
the
to be in,
Buckeyes.
it's just
Oh, no, don't get me started
Yeah.
about special teams again. Not on this show. Not today. I'm in too good of a mood for that because we're back at Roosters for the live show. It is brought to you by Tansky Powersports. We're going to take a break, let Nicole go, and then Birm will be sitting right here. We'll check on his mood. I bet
Oh,
Oh, I bet
it's
he's
going to be a little bit
jolly.
lower
Oh.
Jolly Burn
on the
today.
energy scale.
That
But
was
we'll,
tough.
we'll find out when we come back right after this.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Welcome back into the live show. Jeremy Birmingham has arrived, a.k.a. Birm.
Good afternoon.
How's the mood for Washington week?
Great. Why would it be bad?
It's off to a good start this
I
week.
like
know,
a
'cause you
weekend.
were pretty
I
heated.
like a weekend like this past one where I got to.
What'd you do?
I got to really dive into my favorite teams. You know,
Uh-huh.
and I know my teams very well. This is why my wife and I did not go to Cincinnati to watch the Reds get.
They're
swept by
in
the Cubs.
position.
they're in the
I
playoffs
know.
started
Do you
today.
understand how annoyed with myself I am? I had a whole week. I was like, you know what? We're just going to go to Cincinnati. We're going to watch Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. Watch the Reds and Cubbies, and then the
Oh,
Reds
that
went.
sounds like a lot
And
of
then the
baseball.
Reds went to Sacramento and got swept by the A's last weekend. And I
The
was like, screw it.
Sacramento A's.
And I was like, screw it, we're not going. I'm not going to go and watch them lose 3 games to the Cubs. And then they swept the Cubs for only the second time in 44 years in a
was gonna
4-game
say,
set.
they're in.
They're currently in the pole position for the final wild card spot. But then they got 6 games this week against the Pirates and the Brewers, and they'll lose 5 of them and won't make the
They're not
playoffs.
going to lose
Pirates
the
aren't even
Pirates.
any good.
They have
Pirates
to
gave
face
up months
Skeens
ago.
on Wednesday. They're going to lose that game. So you have to. Well, it's
They
100
don't score runs when he pitches.
They don't score. That's the problem with the Reds. Sometimes they just decide not to score runs for weeks at a time.
But
But
Pirates aren't going to score.
doesn't have to. They can just win half.
Someone's got to.
1/2 to 0
Oh.
because it's Hunter Green versus Paul Skeens. No one's going to score until the 8th inning, and the Reds will give up a home run.
Well, it's not like it was beautiful weather down there in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
and
it
a bunch
sounded
of
awful.
wins.
Yeah, awful. But then this is the best part. So Sunday afternoon, we were getting ready to watch the Bengals, and we sat down.
Nice.
My wife, who is
strapped in.
my wife's becoming a big Bengals fan. Like she's like
Ooh, that's
really
too bad.
leaning into it.
She
One of-
doesn't- why can't she just get on the Lions train? That
one
sounds so
of,
much
one of my
easier.
good buddies
He
is
won't
also,
allow it.
One of my good buddies is from Cincinnati. He's a Bengals fan, so we watched the games together. And they sat down at the start of the game, and I said, "Today is going to be a historic loss."
You are so negative.
And
Negative
it was.
Birm.
And
I
it is-
can't wait to watch this game. It's
and
going
it
to
is-
be a
and it
historic
was-
loss.
Spoken
it was
into
the-
existence.
It was the worst loss in Bengals history. They've never lost a game by 38 points before. So I was right. So nailed it.
Why didn't you just go into it
Nailed
more
it.
optimistic? When
Because-
we recorded the beat on Sunday morning, I said, we're going to make sure that we can watch part of the game on the way home from Indy. It's going to be a big win. And he's like, no, they're going to lose. That was at like 9 in the morning.
There was not a chance they were going to win that game from the start, but whatever. Let's talk Ohio State football. How about the weekend, huh? Did you learn anything about the Washington Huskies you didn't know, Bob?
Their defense, I thought, wasn't great. I was surprised the Washington game was as close. The Apple Cup was as close as it was
Through the first 37 minutes.
Yeah, and then they pulled away at the end. But I was like, all right, what was it 24-10 and a half, I think, something like that?
It was like 35-24 at
Yeah,
12 minutes
it
to
was
go
a-
in the game.
It was a 1.5 score. I mean, it was a touchdown field goal game, for a large portion of it, which leads me like they can score, but I don't think their defense is that good.
Mm-hmm.
But offensively, they're very good. But college football, there's a lot of weirdness going on, like trying to figure things out, and it's a strange place right now.
Did you know that in the history of recorded like college football games, ESPN says that Washington is the loudest any stadium's ever been?
It doesn't surprise me.
100,
does surprise me.
133 decibels.
They've
or
got
something.
like the deck over the awnings over the top, like to help
Kinda
trap the
holds it
sound
in, yeah.
is what
Yeah,
they
so they
said.
say that's the loudest that any stadium's ever been. They also claim
Is there something about the acoustics of
the West Coast?
city of Seattle? Because
Maybe.
they make that claim about the 12th man there for the
the
Seahawks as
stadium's
well.
built pretty much the same way, straight up. I mean, with open ends.
Maybe
and
it's the aeronautic engineering that they've got
it's
going on.
possible, but they also claim to have invented the wave at the University of Washington, which
It's a lost art nowadays.
it is.
No, does
absolutely.
anyone do the wave at games
Nah,
anymore?
I haven't been to a game in a while. But
Not if you can help it.
They used to do the wave at Ohio Stadium. I haven't seen that done in a while.
we need to bring that back. Get Ross on that. He's changing things up. Game day
But
experience.
you
Let's get the wave
you
back.
tend to only do it when you get lulls of action, right? And
Yeah, it's a
there
board.
are second half lulls in action for a lot of Ohio State home games, but there aren't enough people still there in blowout games to do the wave. I think that might be the issue, but maybe Ross can bring some of that back as part of
You need the
the
people.
new traditions. We can just
New tradition.
let's replace camp
honoring
with this end of first quarter wave. Who
Maybe-
says no?
Iowa
You know
does it.
Oh yeah, they've got
Different waves.
Different
wave, yeah.
You know what? Maybe one of the new traditions should be you get a former player on the sideline and have him try to match the intensity of Michael Irvin
Oh,
for an entire game.
I know the first person that I would nominate for that role, and he's sitting on my left. When it
I
comes
don't know.
to,
Schlegels might be better than me.
he's already
Give
been.
him-
He did match
like-
the intensity of Michael Irvin
Get
when
him
he,
10 monsters. And
You know
he's
what's
just down there
amazing,
going
and I don't
crazy.
know if you guys follow this. It's a pretty positive. We're a pretty positive show here. You know, like to stay
Upbeat.
good
pointed-
vibes only.
pointed out. Good vibes only. But our guy Schlegels always talks about being gas station ready.
Uh-huh.
And there was a Buckeye that was gas station ready
Oh, gosh.
over the weekend.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
But I mean, I looked at that and I saw this. I'm like, hey,
Schlegels
Dude
was
on
deep
dude.
down. Schlegels was actually proud.
dude on dude, no weapons, and gas station
Gas
ready.
station ready.
Gas station ready. All right. I mean, on the span of things, like, and by the way, our dude that was gas station ready, I don't want to throw his name out. I mean, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's only about 5'8", $190. So it's not like he's some huge guy beating up a small dude.
Well, and here we go back to talking about Ohio State special teams
No,
again.
I mean, I'm saying it's he was the last guy to return a
No,
kickoff
there you
for a
go.
touchdown
That's right.
15 years ago, and
so
so
needed a little wild card.
you head out to the West Coast. how important, as someone that traveled a lot in the NFL,
Yeah. In Seattle.
how different is the body clock than like is too much made of it?
No, it's real. Like the thing is, if you wake up early, like I've always kind of been an early riser, and so my Oura ring and all this stuff would tell me like my normal circadian rhythm sleeping was like waking up like 6:45. So, I mean, I get up before that, later on the weekend. So, like playing early has never bothered me, when you do that. But I do think there is an element where that's a lot different. Like Michigan State playing at 11 p.m. on Saturday night.
We're in the air at 7 a.m. or something. I saw.
Yeah.
Like coming home.
Well, number one, it crushes you for the next week.
Yeah.
But I've played night games out there on the West Coast, but like night games for Eastern time. So it's like a 5 o'clock start for an 8 o'clock or 5:30. But that is real. For them, the 3:30 window is kind of
right in the sweet spot.
perfect because it's noon there, 12:30 there, 3:30 here. Like it's not a big deal. But getting out there, it's a little different. Like I would always sleep a lot on the plane. And when I was playing, I always had like young kids and everything, and I was always exhausted anyway. So I always was able to kind of go to bed whenever I needed to and then wake up and kind of get back on that schedule. But I think it's tougher for some people than others.
I think these college kids, though, handle it a little bit easier. You're talking about being in the league, you got kids, you have responsibilities. Like, this is their responsibility.
Yeah.
And going out for this
that
week.
pesky school thing.
Well,
football.
What?
In the NFL, it's basically every other week you're traveling across the
Yeah,
country.
and that wears on you a little bit more, I think. But, a game like this, I think these players will be fine with it. They're going out there early, and,
I think it'll be tougher coming back.
That's always the hardest part.
Well, let me ask you this. What component of this weekend's game is most challenging? The body clock travel issue, the noise, or Washington's offensive
That's really a good
triumvirate?
question. I'm always a big believer that I think players are probably the biggest thing. I think Washington's little triumvirate of players that they have, skill positions on offense, probably tough. Noise, they played in loud stuff before. Is this going to be Penn State wide out loud? Probably not quite that. Yeah. Maybe it gets close. I don't think it would have.
Did they get ranked in Washington?
I don't think so.
I didn't.
I don't know if they have,
because I was drowning my sorrows in Bengaldom.
Of course, I don't know if they have. I know everybody's into getting the sustainable. I don't know if they have the sustainability. Like you talk about Penn State. I mean, that thing was the full 60 minutes. Like they were ready to go. I don't know if this game will afford that. I hope it doesn't. Mm-hmm. So that might play into it. Travel it's important, but stopping their offense is probably
how much. Now, I don't want to make it seem like Ohio's quarterback was like the guy we're going to see, but he was a guy who could keep plays alive, and so how good is it just going from already seeing somebody like that, even though he was hurt for a little bit of that game, but he did come back in. I mean, that's probably got to help Matt Patricia get his defense going a little bit better, right?
One thing that Washington does, I mean, they are versatile. They have, I think, the leading rusher in college football, or at least touchdown-wise, Jonah Coleman.
6 yards a carry. Right?
He's averaging almost 7 yards a carry. The quarterback's averaging 7 yards a carry, Damon Williams. He's also averaging almost 12 yards per pass attempt.
74% completion
which
rate,
is,
right?
I mean, that's 12 yards per attempt.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. They are pushing the ball down the field.
In the NFL, if you're like close to 8, that's amazing.
So they're pushing the ball down the field. It is going to be the first time this year for Ohio State to have to really worry about the vertical game and the horizontal game, because Texas was all horizontal pretty much. Yeah. So it will be a different approach for Matt Patricia and the defense this week, because I think you have to do a little bit more man, and then you have to rely on Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles to keep Damon Williams in the pocket.
Well, they'll have different things they'll do up front. That's the one thing with Matt. He is so creative, and they've got a bunch of different levers they can pull to help prevent.
It doesn't seem like we've seen anywhere near how many are available.
It's not a situation where like, we just have one guy spying him. They'll do a lot of different things up front with the D-line, run different fronts. They'll blitz, I'm sure, and run some stuff where they fill it up sometimes. Maybe they'll rush 3 and have 2 spies. They have some different coverage where there's man and you can have a spy in the shadow. Like you can do different things ultimately with it.
Yeah,
so
I don't know. I'm not like an expert on Washington, so I'm not entirely sure how much their depth at wide receiver goes beyond Denzel Boston, their primary receiver, but like that,
David?
I don't believe so. No, okay. Nor is he related to Denzel Burke,
okay,
or Denzel Ward, or any other Denzel that may or may
Denzel
not.
Washington.
I was gonna.
He is Denzel Washington.
He is Denzel, Washington.
just for the record, Berm, Washington is still not receiving any votes in the AP poll. So
Sounds like anti-Big Ten bias to me.
I think that, well, it might just be a healthy dose of skepticism nationally about a team that beat Colorado State, gave up 21 points in that game, played an FCS opponent. They dominated that game. They didn't punt. They scored 70 points. And then, messed around a little bit.
I mean, even Ohio State had to punt against Grambling.
Rivalry game, Apple Cup, all that stuff, but gave up 24 points and 277 passing yards. So I think that's fair to have some Power 4 skepticism about Washington. And maybe
East Coast bias, anti-Big Ten bias. Everyone knows it.
But I also think that there are the ways that you mentioned, the three things there primarily. There's certainly going to be things that test Ohio State in this game. It's not going to be one that you just roll the helmets out and come back home with a win. Like they're, especially with what they have offensively. I think that's Julian saying I expect is going to handle the noise. I think that the offense is going to be fine.
They've had the noise pumping in practice. Yeah, I mean, it's loud, and they go through it, and it's just working through those. It's working through the process of communicating.
The hardest thing, really, communicating. But we never had these, right? So you got somebody talking into a helmet when it's really loud, and you'll see guys in the NFL doing this, or they put some plugs in the helmet holes, or maybe earplugs in their ears just to kind of dull some of that. So that might actually be one thing I didn't think about, because we were all hand signals back in our day. So it didn't really matter how loud it was. You could see, what the play was coming in, but that might be something to keep an eye on. And
that is the thing that we talked about throughout training camp, Berms, like communication for Julian saying, command of the huddle, command of the line of scrimmage, leading the locker room. Like there is no question whatsoever about his arm talent, decision-making, processing. Ohio State can run the full offense with him. Everybody is fully aware of that. But when they were evaluating the competition, no matter what your views are and how legitimate it was, those were the things that were talked about. And this is the first true test of that going on the road. Is like how well is he going to communicate? How can they manage all of that stuff at the line of scrimmage? He's not had to do that in a situation like Husky Stadium yet.
Yeah, and I think for Julian saying, because ultimately how the quarterback plays is going to dictate how your offense plays in a game like that when it's that loud. But how important is it, Justin, for Julian to learn from what happened against Ohio, the second interception specifically, where he just needs to eat it and take a sack? Because this is not the type of game where you can afford to play around. And Ohio State was up 13-3 at half against Ohio, or
13-3.
So like this isn't that type of game. You do that in this game where you give them a chance to stay that close.
Get those hippies fired up.
You get the crowd. The crowd stays loud.
Hacky sack keeps going.
The momentum picks
you give them any chance to get that crowd into the game. I agree with you, and I think, I think we saw it with Bo losing the ball out of bounds. Next week comes back, it's not on the, it wasn't on the ground. They made sure they talked to him about it. Ryan, I'm sure, has been on Julian's case about what needs to happen, what that needs to look like, and just living to play the next down. Especially going on the road, you can't have a turnover. You can't throw the ball to him. You can't try and hold on and make a play. Like if you feel it's going, tuck it and just live to play the next play.
And Damon Williams has not turned the ball over yet this season. I mean, he's been taking care of the ball. He's dynamic. Everything's going to be about how you defend him from the Ohio State defensive side of things. But for the Buckeyes offense, it's like Washington's pass defense is pretty bad.
They're pretty bad. And what are they going to do? They're going to sit back in a zone, and maybe you want to,
and force Ohio State
run
to
the ball a little bit more. Yeah, there's going to be that cat and mouse game there. I don't think they have the athletes to run with us if they go man. So I think they're probably going to have to try and play some sort of zone on us, and then what does that offensive line look like?
And just make everything stay in front.
Exactly.
Which could make for an interesting test for Brian Hartline as a play caller, and the communication with him and Ryan Day and Billy Fessler, like what they want to do, because there had been times when Ryan Day was the play caller. I'm thinking about Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game where it's like Matt Fitzgerald's like, we're going to drop, and it was too slow maybe to adjust. Eventually they did, and Trey Sermon set a bunch of records, but is Brian Hartline going to be
how many yards would Trey Sermon have had if they had adjusted like in the first quarter?
All of them.
All of these.
500 yards. He would have kept going forever. I mean, that could be an interesting dynamic, something that I hadn't considered if that's the way that Washington chooses to play.
That's
Brian
a team
Hartline's
playing that's not trying to win. They're just trying to mitigate loss. Yeah. And I think Washington, you're at home, you're undefeated. Like, you probably feel like you're coming in, you have a chance to win this football game.
So they're going to play man coverage on JJ and Carnell?
I don't think they'll play a lot of it, but I do think it'll be a change-up that they would probably
They're trying to make something happen, bring in a blitz or something, and you got to get man in the backfield.
Yeah, they won't sit back quite as far. It'll be interesting to see how much you blitz when it's loud like that, because that's an advantage to you, hoping that people miss audibles. They're just, and Ryan talked about this, with his team, like the purpose of the noise and music is to distract you. So you're filled with these distractions, so you have to have a hard line focus through the other things that are happening to be able to understand what you need to do and then communicate those things to other people.
Yeah, Birm brought this up last week when Brian Hartline had his first in-season press conference as the coordinator, and it's fascinating the way he's being treated, because I've just brought this up. Like, it's another test for him. It's an opportunity. He's going on the road. He's up in the press box, and then there were just all these questions that he faced. Was like, Are you getting along okay? Are you allowed to make these decisions?
What do you
Like,
mean
how
getting
do you
along
feel like,
okay?
Dude, it was crazy.
The way people allowed to make these decisions.
It's just everyone was basically suggesting that
Ryan's still calling.
he has to ask Daddy's permission before he can go outside or before he can get on his bike. He has to make sure that it was so weird. It's like the dude in his 8th year at Ohio State. He's been the offense coordinator for 3 years now. Yes, I know he's calling plays for the first time, but the questions were like, "Hey, does Ryan let you have a snack after dinner?" Or it's like, what are we doing? He doesn't have to ask if he can have ice cream. He's like a grown ass man.
I don't think
It
Hart's
was
having a lot
so
of ice cream.
weird. I just was like, I'm listening. I'm like, this is so disrespectful to the guy. Like,
did they think they realized they were disrespectful when they were asking, or they were just ignorantly blissful?
probably the latter.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's
you realize you're challenging a
you'd
grown
think-
man who
yeah,
has a
and
big
after
time,
like the first or
high-profile
second
job.
time, this has been going on for 2+ years with Brian Hartline. Like, it's fair to, I think, ask questions about the process and all of that stuff, but he, especially after the first one last week, he gets so clearly irritated by it, and there's no
What?
Yeah,
No.
It's what I said. I said
Can you
this last
believe
week.
it,
Yeah,
JJ?
I know, not at all.
Anybody who's ever had a conversation with Brian Hartline knows, like, if he has something to say, he is going to say
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Like, he is not a wilting flower who's afraid to stand up and say, "Hey, I don't think this is correct," or give his opinion.
Snowflake?
Yeah, like that's not who he is, and so it's just weird. A bunch of people who've been around him now for almost a decade are still not understanding the fundamentals of who he is as a human.
Well,
It's weird.
some of them have known him longer than a decade.
That's true.
Which I think
been
Yeah.
around.
is even more relevant. But the people that have been around him for a decade, primarily Ryan Day, trust him to do that job. He's not doing it by default. It wasn't like they just threw up their hands like, "Oh, Chip Kelly left. No one else is around. Bob, we just got to have Brian Hartline do it."
Nobody else wanted to come to Ohio State to be the OC, so we're going to give the
What are we going to do with these $2 million?
You're not any other applicants.
Yeah, I guess.
It's tough.
Brian, have you ever worn a headset before, Brian? Is it uncomfortable for you? I don't. Why are we still talking about it? But it is important because we're watching him develop in real time as a play caller.
It's just wild that he would get that many questions about it. I get your first week, maybe you get a handful, especially with the gravity of Texas.
Mhm.
But just you're 3 games in now, and it's not like the offense has looked bad.
And attempting to be gracious. We hadn't spoken to him since, so maybe people had all these questions that have been burning in their minds. But it's just like, hey, this a little much.
What's burning in your mind? What's going to be the final score on Saturday against Washington?
Ooh,
Ohio State
burner.
38,
You took my number.
Washington 24.
That
38,
sounded about right.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's explosive. The exact score?
That
You
was
guys have
the
the
exact
same
score.
Okay.
I'll go
Well,
38. I'll go
then,
38-17 just to.
Just knock that one off.
Yeah, I
say-
think our D
35-21.
gets after.
35-21. All right. A lot of 3 covers. Nicole has Washington covering. I believe Ohio State will win this game 34-16.
It was, 13 points last week?
It's down to like 9.
dropped.
And then it's down to 9, yeah.
Which
After that, big win in the
Yeah.
Apple Cup.
I think maybe that's just a reflection, who knows, about what DeMond Williams
So they've been scoring a lot of points. I mean, they're averaging 50-some points a game. So
But I think that to me,
over under is 52.
Is that what it is?
It's not very high. Not you would think.
I just have a hard time believing that
I don't think their defense is going to be able to
Matt
hang
Patricia, with
us.
an extra week to prepare, with a fully rested
we don't have really any
Arvell.
injuries coming
No.
in. We had a nice solid week last week. Nobody had any bumps and bruises.
I wonder if
Just Lorenzo Styles, but
he should
be
be
back.
I think I wonder if some of it is just a national lack of comprehension of what Ohio State defense really is, because Texas has looked underwhelming offensively. Then you play Grambling. Then you have a game against Ohio where you dominate, but it's Ohio, and maybe people just don't realize what Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles are about.
Well, they'll have a big national
We'll find out.
audience to watch.
Yeah, 52.5.
52.5. All right, interesting. Watching that Saturday, it'll be 3:30 Eastern Time kickoff on CBS. Birm and I looking forward to being out there in Seattle for full coverage on the Austin Birm Show. And then we'll be back, planes permitting, weather permitting, on Monday next week in Roosters for the live show, breaking down whatever happens for Ohio State and Washington. Thanks for spending part of your day with us here in Roosters at a fun, casual joint. Thanks to Tansky Powersports for their support of this show. And thank you to Nicole Cox, Justin Zwick, Bobby Carpenter, and Jeremy Birmingham for hanging out with me as we get ready for another week and the first Big Ten game for the Buckeyes this weekend. We'll see you there.